Hey, Holy Trinity family, Will Buto here to tell you about something special that's happening this Sunday at 7 p.m. at Holy Trinity. We're having our annual All Souls Requiem Mass, and this year's going to be a big one. The choir has been working super hard on the Durufle Requiem, which is a relatively new piece to us, and we'll be joined by the acclaimed soprano Indra Thomas and our favorite talented string players. Besides all that, the former Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, will be joining us as guest preacher. So there's a lot going on Sunday, but I wanted to take just a minute to tell you a little more about the Durufle Requiem. You may already know this piece, or it may be new to you, but it's just not performed quite as often as some of the other Requiem settings. But it's a gorgeous piece. It's lush, it's dreamy, it sounds like a movie soundtrack almost. It's this unending cycle of tension and peace and tension and peace and more tension and peace. In my mind, it points to this earthly struggle, our journey to the eternal, of this promise of rest and peace. Now about Maurice Durufle. He was a French organist and composer. He came from the Normandy region of France, and he grew up being exposed to sacred music. He grew up at the cathedral school in Rouen, where he was singing and studying piano and organ. He rose to fame as an organist, and he studied with all the greats at the conservatory and in Paris, and ended up teaching at the conservatory himself in the latter part of his life. Now, as a concert artist, he composed very little. He was a real perfectionist, so very little was published, but what remains is of high quality. And the Requiem was his masterpiece. The whole piece is built on chant, specifically the chants of the Roman Catholic Mass for the Dead. This plain chant would have been familiar to Catholic churchgoers at the time, and even now, honestly. I remember hearing these chants in the Catholic Church recently. The thematic material of each movement is the very chant itself. This is the same chant that's been sung by monks for centuries. And it's almost as if Durufle writes music around these chants instead of trying to incorporate the chant into his own music. You need to understand that plain chant was precious to the French soul, going all the way back to the Notre Dame school that helped shape chant and polyphony. This is 1160, right? And there's this Benedictine abbey in Solesmes, France, that has been the authority over this chant tradition for the last 1,000 years and still is. So the French have a long understanding of plain chant, and it really shows in this piece. If you've never been to All Souls at Holy Trinity before, the 8 movements that we sing are spread out through the service, essentially in the corresponding parts of the liturgy. So in the parts that we might say, Lord have mercy, Christ have mercy, Lord have mercy, you would hear the choir sing the musical setting of that. And Durufle followed Fauré's model in the Requiem text in terms of the leaving out of the fire and brimstone parts of the traditional funeral mass, right? The Dies Irae, for example, this movement that is just full of Judgment Day imagery, is almost completely absent in Durufle's setting. Instead, he favors the text that reflects our hope in eternal life, The piece is rhythmically free, ethereal, impressionist. It's both pensive and light as air. It's really rich to experience. It's like you're just floating there. You already know the choir has been working hard this year, and we are also joined by the incredible soprano Indra Thomas. She has graced all the great stages around the world and will grace us Sunday with the Pie Jesu movement of the Requiem. You'll see some familiar faces in the string section, the same folks who join us on our special feast days, and we'll welcome back Matt McMahon on the organ, who directs the music over at Decatur Presbyterian, just right down the street. But the most important part, with all this rich history and the work we've been putting into it, the most important part is that this is our offering. As we come together on Sunday and remember those loved ones we've lost, we offer this music to the glory of God, to eternal life, to our loved ones, even as a balm for our own broken hearts. So come join us this Sunday at 7. Your heart will thank you.